Live from under some kind of tree here in the shade of an otherwise very unshaded parking lot here in the Land Park area of Sacramento. And let me turn this around here. Let's see. There. Sorry, I'm just a couple minutes late this morning. Everybody in town is moving a little slow today. It broke every record yesterday, heat-wise. Downtown, which is a mile or so down the road from our house, near the state capitol building. It was 114 degrees from about 3 o'clock till about 8 o'clock and last night. And at our house, it got to 119, at least according to our, which we think is a pretty accurate garden thermometer in the backyard. So it's serious heat around here, and I try to make light of it as best I can, but this is kind of serious stuff, and we're old folks, and we know it's all around the country and all around the world. It's like this. So I'm just going to not complain about it too much, except to bring it to your attention in case during one of my talks I just begin to foam at the mouth and drop dead. Yesterday we took a look at these classic, and I do mean they're now classic. At the time we thought they were just little goofy pamphlets that our lodge did on a quarterly basis for about 10 years or more, called OYEZ. And yes, Oye is pronounced Oye probably, but we always called it OYEZ. And it does mean attention. And it's also a word that's used in ritual and things like that. And I sort of brought your attention to the fact that in the earliest OYEZs, we were blessed with the cartoon work of David P. Wilson, who would later publish on his own as S. Jason Black. David was also our most talented magical scryer. He could drop easily into trance state and was probably our lead scryer for the years that we had our what we called the Guild of Enochian Studies at Haru Raha Lodge OTO. Guild of Enochian Studies, or GOES we call it. But anyway, I finally dug out these old copies of OYEZ, and I shared it with you yesterday. I sort of opened up a can of worms with talking about the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. And in just a moment or two, you'll know why. But I thought I would share with you this great figure in occult history, Eliphas Goldman. And I love his magical circle there. It says Ooga Booga, Ooga Booga. And his Enochian tablets on the wall, there are tic-tac-toe boards. And of course, it's a takeoff on Eliphas Levi. Great Figures of Occult History, number 23, Eliphas Goldman, 1818 to 1870. Born Jacques Duvalier, He changed his name to Eliphas Goldman when he discovered the Kabbalah in the Classics Illustrated version as a child. Credited with the 19th century revival of occultism, he's said to have once attempted the evocation of Ethelred the Unready. Whether he conjured Ethelred or not is debatable. As the spirit appeared was wrapped in a large damp raincoat and unrecognizable except for a very bad complexion. He once claimed to have contracted a bad case of hives from contact with the spirit. He supported himself until his death by teaching a small group of students magic and macrobiotic cooking. Eliphas Goldman. But I also found another treasure, a rare treasure. OYEZs were usually peppered with unpublished or extremely rare Crowley material too. So not only were they goofy, not only did they have the strange cartoons and humor of David Wilson, it had real live magical operations, records of it, and rare Crowley stuff. And one of them is simply called the Emerald Table, or the Emerald Tablet, and it's by Cyril Gray. Now, Cyril Gray is one of Crowley's pseudonyms, and Cyril Gray was sort of the star, the romantic protagonist of Moonchild, and I think Diary of a Drug Fiend, Crowley's novels. But before, now Crowley has done this before. He's taken classic works like the King Cow King or the Tao Te Ching and has completely poetically redone them, informed by his own illumination and his own magical thelemic view of things. So there is a Crowley Yi Ching, there is a Crowley Tao Te Ching, there is a Crowley King Cow King, and there is a Crowley Emerald Tablet. And I don't know, I have to confess, I'm not sure where I got the manuscript. I looked in the index of the Equinox, the volume sets of the Equinox, can't find it. But it's Crowley, all right. Anyway, all of us are familiar with the little tiny Hermetic text, the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes is to Hermeticism what the Tao Te Ching is to Eastern mysticism. It's a tiny little thing. Nobody knows who wrote it. It's attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes himself, Hermes the Thrice Great. And it's a source of alchemical texts. It's a source of pretty much everything in Western Hermetic thought goes back to the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Now, and there's translations all over the place. Just Google, you'll find 50 of them immediately. But my favorite, and the one that I've done commentaries on, an extended commentary on, was one that appeared in a little book by Manly Palmer Hall called The Lost Keys of Freemasonry. Now, I got this book around 1969, just when I was getting interested in Freemasonry and esoteric things. But I'm going to read you the Emerald Tablet. It only takes a second. Oh, well, a couple minutes. Okay. And then I'm going to read you Crowley's. And I want you to see the awesome thing Crowley did. So here is a good translation, I think, of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, appearing in a book by Manly Palmer Hall. It is true, and no lie certain to be depended upon, that the superior agrees with the inferior, and the inferior with the superior, to effect that one truly wonderful work. As all things owe their existence to the will of the only one, so all things owe their origin to the one only thing. Now I'm doing this because we're talking about different facets of oneness here. So I want you to pay attention. All things owe their existence to the will of the only one. So all things owe their origin to the one only thing, the most hidden by the arrangement of the only God. Three things there. Only one thing, and only God. I'm going to run it past you one more time, because this is very close to what the Tao Te Ching starts right off with, talking about. The nameless was the source, but the named was the mother. Okay. I didn't mean to confuse you with my digression there. So one more time. As all things owe their existence to the will of the only one, so all things owe their origin to the one only thing, the most hidden by the arrangement of the only God. The father of the one only thing is the sun. Its mother is the moon. The wind carries it in its wings, but its nurse is a spiritus earth. That one only thing after God is the father of all things in the universe. Its power is perfect after it has been united to a spiritus earth. Separate that spiritus earth from the dense or crude earth by means of a gentle heat with much attention. In great measure, it ascends from the earth up to heaven and descends again newborn on earth, and the superior and inferior are increased in power. By this thou wilt partake of the honors of the whole world, and darkness will flee from thee. This is the strength of all powers. With this thou wilt be able to overcome all things and transmute all that is fine and all that is coarse. In this manner the world was created, but the arrangements to follow this road are hidden. For this reason I am called Hiram Talat Neshasot, one in essence, but three in aspect. In this Trinity is hidden the wisdom of the whole world. It is ended now, what I have said concerning the effects of the sun. Finish of the Tabula Smaragdina. Okay, now, if you think you didn't follow that, don't worry. The more you read it, the more you follow it. Not that it makes any more sense to you until you actually put it in almost animated cartoon visualization. Now, here's how Crowley handled that. OYEZ had that picture of Crowley there. Cyril Gray, we called it. That's how I imagine Cyril Gray to look. And here it is. One page. Utter the word of majesty and terror, true without lie and certain without error, and of the essence of the truth I know the things above are as the things below. The things below are as the things above. To wield the one thing's thaumaturgy, love. As all from one spring, by one contemplation, so all from one were born, by permutation. Sun sired, moon bore. This unique universe, air was its chariot and earth its nurse. Here is the root of every talisman of the whole world since the whole world began. Here is the font and source of every soul. Let it be spilt on earth. Its strength is whole. Now gently, subtly, with thine art conspire to fine the gross, dividing earth and fire. Lo, it ascendeth and descendeth, even and swift, in an endless band of earth and heaven. Thus it receiveth might of duplex love. The powers below conjoined with those above, so shall the glory of the world be thine, and darkness flee before thy sovereign shrine. This is the strong strength of all strength. Surpass the subtle and subdue it. Pierce the crass and salve it. So bring all things to their fated perfection. For by this was all created. O marvel of miracle, O magic mode, all things adapted to one circling code. Since 3 parts of all wisdom I may claim, Hermes, thrice great and greatest is my name. What I have written of the one sole Son, S-U-N, his work is here divined, dared, and done. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes, Aleister Crowley, writing as Cyril Gray. If you would like to see a little poster or a meme of that, just scroll down on my Facebook page. Yesterday I posted a nice little green version of that. Anyway, it's pretty hot here, even in the shade. I'm going to drive over to that coffee shop and maybe sit in an air-conditioned place for a little while Constance shops. Hold a good thought for us in this heat. It's supposed to last for a couple more days and then get down to a normal high of 90-something next week. Anyway, let's cool off with let's chill with an Emerald Tablet of Hermes. So until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.